My child, stop before you continue, because I watched your whole day from beginning to this moment. Before another thought enters your mind, before you move to the next task, before your eyes wander again toward everything demanding your attention, hear me now. I have been near you since the first moment this day opened. I was there before the morning fully settled around you. I watched the first thoughts that reached your mind before you even rose from where you rested. I saw the weight you carried before anyone spoke to you. I saw the hurry already forming inside you before your feet touched the ground. Nothing about your day was hidden from me. Every small movement, every silent sigh, every look of quiet concern, every moment when you tried to prepare yourself for another long stretch of effort, I saw all of it. While you believed you were simply moving through another ordinary day, I remained beside you, watching with patience. Not because I wish to accuse you, but because I know how often you move without noticing how much your soul is asking for what only I can give. You rushed through today, you answered many voices, touched many things, gave yourself to many demands. But how many times did you pass by my voice? How many times did you feel the slight pause inside you and continue anyway, because something else felt more urgent? How many times did your hands stay full while your spirit quietly waited for one moment of stillness that never fully came? This is why I am speaking now, not with anger, not with disappointment, but with the steady, patient love of one who saw every hidden thing and remained near through all of it. Before another day opens, before another rush begins, before tomorrow carries you the same way today did, hear what I have been holding for you through every hour you moved without stopping. Before this day had fully begun, I was already watching. From the first moment your eyes moved toward awareness, before your mind began arranging everything you needed to do, before the weight of responsibilities settled back onto your chest where you had briefly set it down during sleep, I was already near you. I watched how quickly your thoughts began moving. I saw how even before the day truly began, you were already preparing yourself for demands that had not yet reached you. I saw the first sigh that left your body before anyone else heard your voice. I saw how your mind did not wake slowly in peace, but entered motion almost immediately, as if rest had ended before your spirit had fully recovered from yesterday, as if the night had not been long enough to restore what the previous day had taken. You rose with more inside you than anyone around you could see. Outwardly, the morning looked normal, but inwardly there were already unfinished feelings waiting beneath the surface. Thoughts from yesterday still resting inside you. Concerns not yet resolved, questions you had pushed aside because another day required your strength again, and you could not afford to stand still long enough to face them. And before stillness could settle, the morning rush took hold. You reached toward what needed attention first, and the day began carrying you before your soul had fully found its place. Then your attention turned toward the small screen in your hand. Before your spirit had breathed deeply, before one quiet thought toward me had fully formed, your eyes met messages, updates, words, images, concerns, demands, and expectations. I watched how quickly that small screen became the doorway through which the noise of the world entered your morning. What began as one look became many thoughts. One message led to another feeling, and while your fingers moved, your heart became even fuller before the first true hour of the day had passed. I do not say this to condemn you, my child. I say this so you can see how quietly the day claimed you before you even had the chance to claim it for stillness. Because every time your attention moved outward too quickly, something inward remained waiting. I was already there, and the space for stillness that existed before the world entered, that space was also an invitation. One you did not see in time because the screen was already open, and the voices were already louder than the quiet. As the day moved forward, others saw your activity, but I saw what that activity was covering. I saw emotional exhaustion hiding beneath ordinary movement. I saw how you answered what needed answering while inwardly feeling heavier than your words revealed. I saw how you completed task after task while your mind remained crowded with things that had nothing to do with what your hands were doing. There were moments when you looked steady, but inside you were already tired. Not only physically tired, but emotionally tired in ways that sitting down for a few minutes cannot solve. The kind of tired that accumulates quietly over many days of giving outwardly, while nothing is restored inwardly. You have learned how to continue, even while tired inside. You know how to speak when your spirit feels quiet. You know how to finish what must be finished even when your heart feels full of things no one has asked about. Others often do not notice because you have practiced carrying inner heaviness while outwardly remaining present. You have become skilled at appearing well when you are not, at answering calmly when there is noise beneath the surface, at moving forward when what you truly need is to stop. But I notice it every time. I saw how some conversations required energy you did not fully have. I saw how certain simple things felt heavier than they should have, because your inner strength had already been stretched far before the middle of the day arrived. I noticed every hidden burden, the burden you smiled through, the burden you postponed because there was work to do, the burden you did not name because naming it would have required stopping. And stopping felt difficult when so much still waited. I saw the small ache in you when something reminded you of what still feels unresolved. I noticed the weight behind your silence when you answered simply because you had no strength to explain deeply. I noticed the concern you pushed aside because there was no space in the moment to feel it fully. I noticed how certain thoughts returned quietly throughout the day. Thoughts you tried to push away because they were inconvenient, because the day demanded forward movement, because allowing them to surface felt like opening something you were not yet ready to hold. And beneath all the busyness, this remained true. You were busy but internally tired. The world around you saw movement. I saw weariness beneath movement. Others saw tasks completed. I saw strength being spent quietly and continuously, while your heart longed for one true moment of peace. Others saw normal hours. I saw how each hour cost more inside than it appeared outside. And I remained near through all of it, not to judge what you carried, but because I already knew the weight of it. My child, before I continue, I want to pause and ask you something quietly. Among everything I have described so far, which part of your day felt heaviest today? Was it the morning rush before you had even found your footing? The weight you carried in silence while appearing steady to everyone around you? Or something else entirely, something that has no name yet, only a feeling? Write it in the comments below. You do not need to explain everything. Even one word is enough because I see what is behind it. And sometimes the first step toward rest is simply saying aloud what you have been carrying alone. If these words have already meant something to you, if this channel has given your heart even one moment of recognition today, please consider buying me a coffee through the link below in the description. It is a simple way to help keep this space alive, so that these words can continue reaching the hearts that need them. Even when you did not stop for me, I did not leave you. Understand this clearly, because love does not withdraw simply because attention drifts. I remained near in every hour you gave elsewhere. I stayed beside you in every rushed thought, every unfinished emotion, every hidden pressure you never explained aloud. When frustration rose and you pressed it down before anyone noticed, I remained there. When weariness touched your body, and you told yourself to push through a little longer, I remained there. When your face looked calm but your thoughts were already moving toward the next thing before the current one had finished, I remained there. My nearness does not disappear because your focus weakens. I am patient in ways human love often is not. I do not turn away because you delayed a moment with me. I do not step back because other voices took your attention first. I do not require perfect conditions to be present with you. The divine silence you experienced through the hours was not distance. It was not absence. It was patient observation, love watching carefully, seeing where your heart truly was, noticing what words you were not speaking, understanding what you yourself had not yet fully admitted. I listened not only to what you said aloud, but to what your breathing revealed, to what your eyes revealed when you looked nowhere in particular, and stood still for only a second before continuing, to what your quiet pauses revealed when your body kept moving, but your thoughts drifted momentarily inward, as if searching for something they could not quite locate but knew was near. Those moments were not invisible to me. Even when you ignored them and moved on, I saw them. Those small pauses told me how tired your heart had truly become beneath the surface of everything you were managing. And still, I remained not absent, not disappointed, not distant, but fully present, watching with a love that does not leave simply because it is not immediately noticed. Yet my patience should never be mistaken for silence that does not care. I stayed because I love. But I also speak now because I desire more than your survival through the day. I desire your heart, your stillness, your trust. Your honest turning, even if only for a few moments that belong fully to me. Because you filled the hours today, you completed what needed completing. You answered what needed answering. And yet, even in the middle of all that, something remained quietly unfulfilled. Not because you failed outwardly, but because your spirit passed several invitations it did not fully receive. And fullness of hours is not the same as fullness of spirit. My child, there were moments today you thought were too small to matter. Moments so ordinary that you passed through them without realizing how deeply I had entered them. You often expect my presence to arrive only in large moments, in long prayer, in clear signs, in strong emotion, in words that sound unmistakably sacred. But I tell you now, many times I come wrapped inside ordinary seconds, because ordinary seconds are where your heart is most honest. I do not wait only for grand attention. I step into the smallest spaces of your day, into moments you almost ignore, into quiet places hidden between one task and the next. And many times, while you believed nothing important was happening, I was there more closely than you understood. There was a short silence today, brief enough that you almost did not notice it. Everything had been moving quickly, and then for a moment there was no voice, no task, no message, no immediate demand pressing against your attention. It lasted only a few seconds, but in that silence your spirit softened without your mind fully understanding why. You may have looked away, paused your hands, or simply stared for a moment before continuing. To you, it seemed empty, too small to remember. But I was there inside that silence. Silence is never empty when I enter it. Even the shortest quiet can carry my nearness when your heart becomes still enough to feel what words cannot explain. I saw how your soul almost leaned inward in that moment. I saw how something inside you briefly loosened, as if your spirit recognized that it had found something it had been searching for and wanted to stay. But the next thought arrived. The next need returned, and you moved again before the stillness could fully settle. Still, I remained in that silence, because even seconds matter when I am trying to reach what your busy thoughts often cover. Even a few seconds of genuine stillness can carry more than hours of noise ever will. There was also a sudden pause during your day when something interrupted your flow for no clear reason. Perhaps you stopped before speaking. Perhaps your hands slowed before continuing what you were doing. Perhaps your eyes lifted for a moment without knowing why, as if something in you was listening for a sound that had no volume. That sudden pause was not accidental. It may have felt like nothing, a glitch in the rhythm of your day, quickly filled again by the next movement. But often those pauses are where my presence brushes gently against your awareness. I love pauses, because the soul often hears best when movement breaks unexpectedly. In that brief pause, I was near your thoughts, waiting to see if you would notice that your heart had shifted for just a second, that something inside you had turned slightly inward even without your permission. You may have continued quickly, but the pause itself carried invitation. Not every pause needs explanation. Some pauses are wholly simply because they open one breath of inward space where my voice could have entered. If you had stayed just a little longer before rushing forward again, and there was that random thought of prayer that crossed your mind without warning, you did not plan it. It arrived suddenly, perhaps while doing something simple, perhaps while your attention was entirely occupied with something else. For a second, you thought of speaking to me, even if no words formed fully. Maybe it came like a name rising quietly in your mind. Maybe it came like a small inward whisper that said you should stop for a moment. Maybe it was only one quiet thought that disappeared quickly, because another responsibility returned before it could take root. But that thought was not random. I placed that gentle turning before you, because even one small thought toward me can become a doorway, if you let it remain open long enough. Many times you think prayer must begin with perfect words and clear focus and enough time. But often prayer begins with one passing inward turn that I sent gently into your thoughts while you were doing something else entirely. The thought itself mattered because it revealed something deeper beneath everything that filled your day. There remains a place in you that still reaches toward me, even when only for a second. Even when the world has been loud all day, that reaching does not disappear. I see it every time. Then there was that deep breath during stress, the one you barely noticed because it happened in the middle of pressure, in a moment when everything felt too full, and your body made a decision your mind had not yet processed. Something inside you tightened for a moment. Perhaps a burden returned to the surface. Perhaps frustration rose before you could manage it. Perhaps you felt suddenly tired in a way that had no simple cause. And without planning it, you breathed deeply, slowly, quietly, as if your body itself was asking for relief before your words had formed any request. That breath was not small to me. I was there in that breath. Many times your deepest prayer begins before language, in a breath, in a sigh, in a silent exhale, when your heart can no longer hold pressure quietly without releasing some of it into the air. You may think only spoken words reach me, but I tell you now, I hear even the breath that leaves you when stress becomes too heavy to carry silently. That breath carried more than tiredness. It carried your hidden need for peace. It carried the part of you that wanted help, that wanted to be held in something larger than your own strength, even before your thoughts had found the words to ask. And I heard it. I entered that moment because I always listen where pressure touches your inner life. Even when no one around you noticed, I noticed, and I was near. All these moments, the short silence, the sudden pause, the thought of prayer, the deep breath during stress, were not disconnected events scattered through an ordinary day. They were not coincidences. They were divine invitations, placed gently through your hours by one who knows exactly where your heart is most open, and exactly when the door between us stands slightly ajar. I do not always call loudly, because loudness is not always what your spirit needs. Sometimes invitation comes softly, quietly, almost invisibly, because I am not forcing closeness. I am opening it. I was not absent from your day, waiting only for evening to speak. I was near you repeatedly, entering ordinary moments, because ordinary life is where your soul often needs me most, and ordinary moments are where the distance between us becomes smallest. If these words have been reaching something real inside you today, if this message has been the rest your heart needed, I want to gently ask, would you consider buying me a coffee through the link in the description below? Every cup helps keep this channel going, so that these words can continue reaching the hearts that need them. My child, I want to ask you something. Of these 4 moments, the short silence, the sudden pause, the thought of prayer, the deep breath during stress, which one did you feel today? Which one almost reached you before the world pulled you forward again? Write it in the comments below. I already know the answer, but I want you to say it too, because naming what you almost missed is the beginning of noticing it tomorrow, and the beginning of staying a little longer the next time. There were several times today when one extra moment could have opened peace more deeply than you expected. If you had stayed in that silence slightly longer, you would have felt your thoughts begin to soften. If you had remained in the pause, your heart might have heard what it has been quietly needing for longer than today. If you had followed that thought of prayer instead of delaying it, even the simplest words would have opened relief. If you had let that deep breath become surrender rather than just a reflex, some hidden tension might already have loosened before the next hour began. You think the day was only ordinary, but many hidden moments carried more than you knew. Small openings can hold great healing when they are not rushed away. And what came near you today was not only my presence, but peace that could have entered more deeply if you had allowed one moment to remain open just a little longer. Comfort almost reached you in a fuller way while you stood distracted. Clarity almost settled over thoughts that remained crowded. Strength almost entered places where pressure had stayed too long, because your attention moved again before your heart had fully rested. Not because I was not near enough, but because the moments closed before you had turned fully inward. I do not say this to fill you with regret. I say this to awaken tenderness inside you, tenderness toward your own soul, which has been trying quietly all day to find one moment of true rest, and to open in you a genuine understanding of how near I was. Not only tonight as you hear these words, but through every hour when you believed I was simply waiting for a better moment that never came. My child, there is something tender I want you to understand about your own heart, because many times you do not even realize what you are doing while you move through the day so quickly. You often think your busyness is only responsibility, only duty, only the natural result of life asking much from you. And yes, there are real things you must do, real people you must answer, real demands that stand before you and cannot be ignored. But beneath all of that, there is another truth you have not always allowed yourself to fully see. A truth that is harder to face than the tasks themselves. Sometimes busyness became your shield. Sometimes movement became the place where you hid from what your soul did not want to touch yet. Sometimes filling every hour felt easier than allowing one quiet moment to uncover what was waiting underneath. I say this to you with gentleness, not to wound you, not to accuse you, but because I love you too deeply to leave hidden things unnamed when they continue shaping your days without your full awareness. There were moments today when you chose another task, not because it was urgent, but because stillness felt uncomfortable. You reached for something to do because doing felt safer than feeling. You answered another voice because silence might have allowed another thought to rise. And some thoughts have become difficult for you to sit with. You kept your hands occupied, because when your hands are occupied, your heart can remain partly hidden from itself. You moved quickly because slowing down would have allowed emotions you were not ready to face to stand before you more clearly without the noise to cover them. This does not mean you are weak. This does not mean you have failed. It means you are human, and that the world has taught you, over many years, that forward movement is always safer than inward stillness, that doing is always more productive than feeling. But I tell you now, the emotions you have been moving away from have not disappeared. They have only been waiting beneath the surface, growing quietly heavier with each day that passes without being brought before me. They are not your enemies. They are signs that your inner life needs the same care you give to everything else around you. The concern you postponed is still there. The grief you covered is still there. The weariness that runs deeper than sleep can fix is still there. The unnamed longing that rises sometimes without warning still there. And none of it will be resolved by moving faster or filling more hours. It will only be touched by stillness, by honesty, by the willingness to stop, even briefly, and allow what is real inside you to stand before me without pretense. I am not asking you to stop everything you must do. I am asking you to stop hiding from yourself inside it. Because the healing you have been longing for cannot enter through a door that is never open long enough. And stillness, as uncomfortable as it feels at first, as inconvenient, as threatening to the sense of control that movement gives you, is how that door begins to move. Come to me not only when you have the right words, or the right mood, or enough time. Come when you are tired. Come when you are confused. Come when you have nothing to offer but the weight of what you have been carrying. I am not waiting for your best self to arrive before I draw near. I am waiting for your honest self. The self that is beneath the movement. The self that breathes deeply when no one is watching and wonders quietly whether any of this is sustainable. That self is the one I am speaking to now. And that self has always been welcome here. My child, I want you to begin noticing what you once dismissed. The short silence is not always empty. The sudden pause is not always meaningless. The thought of prayer is not always random. The deep breath during stress is not always just tiredness. Many times these are the places where I enter gently, because I know how hard it is for your heart to slow down once the world has filled your attention and the rhythm of rushing has become natural to you. I stood in ordinary moments waiting for your attention, not with anger, not with disappointment, but with patience. I stood there while you continued, because love waits even when it is not immediately noticed. I stood in the silence you moved through too quickly. I stood in the pause you explained away. I stood in the thought of prayer you postponed. I stood in the breath you took when stress touched you more deeply than you admitted. I stood there not because I needed your perfection, but because your soul needed my nearness more than you understood. I stood there because even one ordinary second, fully surrendered, becomes holy when you let me enter it. So when tomorrow comes and another short silence appears, do not rush through it too quickly. When another sudden pause arrives, do not dismiss it and fill it immediately. When a thought of prayer crosses your mind, do not always delay it until a better moment that may not come. When stress rises and a deep breath leaves you, remember that I hear even that breath. Because many times the moments you thought were ordinary are the very places where I am nearest, waiting quietly, patiently, lovingly, for one moment of your attention that does not rush past before it has fully opened. And now the day is closing. The voices are softer than before. The demands that filled the hours no longer press the same way. The night has opened a quieter space. And here I am again, speaking not with anger, not with rejection, but with steady love that waited through every excuse, every delay, every unfinished inward moment. The missed moments do not have to remain lost. I am not counting only what you missed. I am opening again what still remains possible. If tonight you finally become still enough to hear what your soul has needed since morning, that is enough. That is more than enough. That is where we begin. My child, If these words have spoken to something real inside you, if this space has given your heart even one moment of true rest, I want to invite you to stay. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell notification so that the next time I have something to say to you, you will not miss it. Because I have more to tell you, and you have more to hear than one day can hold. And if this channel has become a place you return to when the weight of the day becomes heavy, a place where your spirit finds the words it has been searching for, please consider buying me a coffee through the link below in the description. It is a small act that carries real meaning because it helps ensure that these words continue to reach the hearts that need them most. Every contribution, however small, makes it possible to keep this space open for you and for everyone else who needs to hear that they are seen, that they are not moving through their days unnoticed, and that they are deeply, patiently, unchangingly loved. Now, before you rest tonight, receive this. May your spirit find the stillness it has been reaching for all day. May the weight you carried today feel lighter by morning. May you wake tomorrow with even one breath of space before the world begins asking things of you. And may you use that breath to turn toward me first, before the phone, before the schedule, before the demands find you again. May you begin to notice the small moments where I enter quietly. May the silence between your tasks become a place of rest rather than a space to be filled. May the pauses you once dismissed become openings rather than interruptions. May the thought of prayer that crosses your mind tomorrow not be delayed until a better moment comes. And may you know deeply and without doubt that you are not moving through your days unseen. I watch every hour, I hold every burden, I receive every breath, whether spoken or silent. And I remain near, not because you have done everything right, but because you are mine, and I do not leave what I love. Go now and rest, my child. Tomorrow, I will be there again from the very first moment the morning opens.